right, so September Alice Task Force meeting. Chris Keim is traveling today, heading down to Boise for some meetings. So I'll be kind of hosting, and Carrie Cedarquist, after she does school drop off, will join us as well, and we'll kind of tag team this. As you likely saw in the email, Michaela Brown will be presenting today. But before we get started with that, we'll do our usual round of introductions. And Chris let me know that September is National Potato Month. So when we do our introductions, we will start with our name and our organization, and then maybe what recipe or how do you like to eat your potatoes? And obviously with your mouth, so we don't need any sarcasm there. So let's go around and we'll start with Jason.
Hey, my name is Jason Nye. I'm the executive director at CD-Aid. I like my potatoes fried, so French fries, potato chips, or hash browns, probably the best.
Perfect. All right. Wendy.
I'm Wendy from Real Life Ministries Community Assistance, and I have a nightshade allergy, so I can't eat potatoes, but I love sweet potato fries.
Very good. All right, Leslie.
Good morning. My name is Leslie Johnson. I work for the Salvation Army Croc Center, and my favorite is French fry that's crispy on the outside and soft in the center.
Perfect. Nice detail. Let's see, Jennifer.
So I'm Jennifer Heppenstall, and I am the Parent Family Community Engagement Specialist at Mountain States Early Head Start. And I was last night I went to a place in Sandpoint called iCarts, and they have these Parmesan garlic French fries that are incredible. So I have been eating them for 20 years. They're the best. So
that sounds great. Okay, David.
Hi, everyone. I'm David Gortner from St. Luke's Episcopal Church in downtown Coeur d'Alene. And let's see, I really love the small oven roasted potatoes, and also really good mashed potatoes, with whatever inside them. So
perfect. All right, Donna, and then Becca.
I am going to go with iCarts Parmesan garlic fries. Those cannot be beat if you've never had them. Make the trip.
I'm Becca, Social Services Case Manager at St. Vincent de Paul. I don't think I can pick a favorite potato. I'm just grateful there's so many different options on how I can eat them.
The magic vegetable, right?
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I do St. Vincent de Paul and NAMI and a bunch of other ones too, but those are the two main ones.
Perfect. Thanks, Donna. Let's see who's next. Christina.
Well, I'm Christina with Idaho Business for Education's Youth Apprenticeship Program, and I have to agree with Donna and Becca. Other than raw, I like all potatoes, so I don't discriminate.
Fair enough. Okay, Greta.
I love tater tots, but I have to see if I can show you this. So today, crispy tater tots. I was walking to work. I don't know if you guys can see this. Do you see this? It's a grate. So on the sidewalk, on the side, there's the grate, and there was a potato. Stop laughing. I was like, oh, Idaho, you're so funny.
There you go. It's raining potatoes.
Right. Thanks.
All right. Lisa.
I'm Lisa Donaldson from Family Promise of North Idaho, and I just love potatoes, so I can't choose. It'd be easier to find one I don't like, which I don't think there is one.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, MJ.
Hi, I'm MJ from North Idaho College. I'm the Student Support Case Manager. What was the question? I just hopped on.
Favorite potatoes?
Oh gosh.
French fries, mashed, tossed.
Oh, I would say twice baked.
Oh, that's a good one. Very good. All right, so let's see. Shane.
I'm Shane Gass, case manager with Idaho Youth Ranch, and I would have to say any kind, as long as they're not raw.
I think that's the second one of those. That's pretty good. Let's see, Kaylin.
Hello, I'm Kaylin with Community Action Partnership, and my favorite kind of potato is actually Jack in the Box curly fries. When I want some junk food, I will drive through there and get some curly fries.
Oh yeah, curly fries are great. It's been a while since I've had those. All right, let's see who is next. Shane, Stephen, Latanya.
Hello, I am Latanya Keogh with North Idaho College Head Start, and I'd have to say mine would probably be a barbecued baked potato.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, Chrissy.
Definitely love all things potato. The only potato I don't like is a gratin. I even like gratin potatoes. So.
All right. And Chrissy is with Health and Welfare Navigation. So let's see, next is Amy.
Hello, my name is Amy. I'm with Idaho Health and Welfare Navigation as well. I work with Chrissy. And my favorite potato, I would have to say, is mashed potatoes.
Awesome. All right. So Vicki Isaacson just put in chat. She's with Workhorse Training Center and potatoes with onions. And then also Kay Crawford and Stephen say they have no audio today. So if you want to just put in the chat your name, organization, and favorite potato, then we will be done with introductions. Oh, I guess I would have to add, so I'm Mark Tucker with United Way of North Idaho, and I had lunch at Honey last week and had their sweet potato tots. Oh, they're fantastic. So I'd have to go with those. Can't go wrong with tater tots, but when they're sweet potato tater tots, it makes it that much better. All right. So Steven says all things potato. Good answer. All right. So with that, I think we will turn it over to Michaela Brown. She's the center manager for Mountain States Early Head Start, and we'll go from there. Michaela.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me. And I didn't share my potatoes, so I will tell you the potatoes that are my favorite. I call them my 7-fat mashed potatoes, and it has 4 different kinds of fat and 3 different kinds of cheese in it. And they are phenomenal. I have like cream cheese, sour cream, ranch, butter, and then I think I do Parmesan, Romano, and whatever other kind of cheese I have in my house, and probably some garlic too. So they are one of my favorite things. So, but thank you for having me here. I'm really excited to share about our program. I've brought along with me my colleague, Jennifer Heppenstall. She was a family consultant for us for a while, and she's just stepped into a new leadership role. And so she is going to be leading most of the conversation today. So I'm going to pass it to her so she can kind of give a better introduction of herself. And then I'm just going to kind of support and tag team with her.
Thanks, Michaela. Yeah, so I am now the Parent, Family, Child Community Engagement Specialist, which is a really long title for, I'm still not completely sure what I do, but this is part of it. So we just wanted to kind of give people an update on our program and an idea of what we do. So we're an early childhood program, and we do home visiting. And we through the pandemic, we're doing virtual services. We are no longer doing virtual, so we are going back into homes. And so we wanted to remind people of that, and kind of just update you on what our program looks like. I wonder if I would be able to share a slideshow, like a PowerPoint. Our Mountain States Early Head Start, oftentimes we're confused with North Idaho College Head Start. We're partners, and we both have Head Start in our name, and we're both under the Office of Head Start, but we do we are different. We are a home visiting program for families that are either pregnant or have a child who is ages birth to 3, while Head Start is a preschool. So we offer child like free, it's all 100% free, child development guidance and resources for those families that are pregnant or have a child birth to 3. And we really believe that a child's education starts from the moment they're born. Actually, it starts in utero, and that their caregivers are their first and most important teacher. And so we just come alongside families and caregivers to support the parent-child relationship, their child's development, and their attachment. And so when we think about it, and we talk to community partners about referring families to us, they often wonder who they should refer to us. And so if you just think about families that you know who have children that are birth to 3, just think of families that would need a little extra support, or children that you might have concerns about, families that are isolated or interested in having some socialization, or kiddos who are in the foster care system. We can meet with the biological parents, the foster parents, family caregivers, or all 3. So we can do a combination of who we meet with in those situations, whatever feels most supportive. And we're always accepting applications. So the applications process is always open. And then just depending on how full we are, whether or not we're able to enroll right away. At the moment, we're able to enroll right away. So we would love to get as many referrals as we're able to. So in order to be eligible for our program, families have to be income eligible according to the federal poverty guidelines. They can get into the program like immediately if they're homeless, which could include temporary housing or living with friends or family, staying in a motel, tent sleeping or couch surfing. If anyone in the home's receiving SSI income or SNAP benefits. SNAP benefits is a new eligibility criteria that just happened, which we're really pleased with. So if somebody is receiving those benefits, they are just automatically eligible for our program. And then also children that are in the foster care system are automatically eligible for our program. And then we always have a limited amount of slots for families who are over income. So we do home visits, and we do them weekly with a pregnant participant. We do them, they can do weekly or we can do bi-weekly. The visits are about 90 minutes long. And we just really cater them and individualize them to the particular family and what they or their children's needs are. And we just provide all kinds of different resources about parenting and attachment, or if they're pregnant, about pregnancy. And then we can meet families in their home if they are uncomfortable with us coming into their home, which does occasionally happen. We can meet them at like if they're doing shared housing with someone. So we can meet in a community space, in a park, in our centers. We go to the libraries. We just heard actually that we could use the visiting rooms at CASA. So we are open to all kinds of different ways of meeting with families. And we do screenings and ongoing assessments with families. So we do the Hawaii Early Learning Profile is our assessment that we use, and we do that 3 times a year. And then we have ages and stages screenings. We have hearing and vision screenings, nutrition screenings, and perinatal depression screenings. And so we continually do assessments and screenings of both the children or pregnant participants. And then if anything shows up as being delayed or like there might be some sort of an issue, then we do appropriate referrals out. And then we do a lot of follow-up and support around whatever that happens to be. We work really hard at connecting families. So connecting them with our staff, connecting them with programs, and then connecting them with each other. And so we offer a Circle of Security parenting class. All of our staff are trained to facilitate that parenting class. We will help families get CPR and first aid certified. we do different like coffee connections, and those are really based on what families are interested in. And so we'll have connection time for families to come together and either do a project or learn something together. And then our families can get involved in our policy council, which is kind of like our governing board. They help lead and make decisions for our program, which is a really great leadership opportunity for families. And then our health services advisory committee, where we partner with local health providers. Families join in on that. And then parent education events, and then play groups. And like our parent education events, I am in charge of those, and I usually do surveys with the families and find out what it is that they really want to learn. And this past year, they really wanted to know more about supporting their children with challenging behaviors, which I don't know if anybody on here is a parent, but challenging behaviors tend to arise with our littles. And so having that support and some tips and the ability to talk to other people about how hard that can be and what you can do next. They wanted to learn a little bit about how children learn through play. And then they also really wanted some perinatal support groups. So we did a little bit longer workshop to support those participants that were either pregnant or recently delivered. And then we always have play groups for all of our families. And so our play groups is a chance where they can get together and connect with each other, and the parents stay the whole time. So that's another way that we're different than other programs, is with our play groups, the parent comes as well. We don't ever have a time where children are without their parents or caregivers. They're always with their caregiver. And that way the caregiver gets to learn like how their child plays with other kiddos, and they get to relate and interact with other parents and just get the kind of support that they need around that. And those are offered year-round, and pregnant participants are also encouraged to attend. And then I kind of talked a little bit about our pregnancy services. So when a person comes in pregnant, we support them through their pregnancy, and we keep them enrolled for 3 months after they deliver. And then after that, we enroll their child, and the parent drops off. And so we just share what it's like to be pregnant, what they can expect with their pregnancy. We go over topics like fetal development, preparing for baby. We spend a lot of time supporting maternal mental health and going over some postpartum care. We really encourage families to attend all of their medical appointments and to get the kind of care that they need, either for their kiddos or themselves. We are trauma informed, and so the trust-based relational intervention, it's an attachment-based trauma informed intervention, and so 4 of our staff are practitioners, and we have TBRI woven throughout our entire program in pretty much everything we do. And then our newsletter gives families ideas and opportunities about how to use those principles at home. And so we also help families navigate community resources. So many of you would be community partners that we would be referring families to. And so part of it is we really are trying to make relationships in the community so that when I call and I say, hey, I have a family that's really in need of housing, or they're really in need of, I don't know, whatever it happens to be, you know who I am, you know, like that this is a real true need, and then we can work together. So it's important for us to have those really good relationships so that we can help families navigate resources, because it can be challenging to have the resource or the need, and then to not understand how to navigate to get that need met. And so all of our staff is highly qualified and educated in early childhood and trained to facilitate those parenting classes. And our locations. So we are serving families in Bonner, Kootenai, and Shoshone counties, and we have offices in Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, and Lakeland. And I think that is all. I just wonder if I kind of went through that pretty quickly. I wonder if, like, what you guys might have questions about.
Any questions for Jennifer or Michaela?
I have a question. How does the referral process work? So say I'm working with the youth and I come across that they might need help because they're parenting or pregnant. How do I get them over to you?
So I'll send you this slide and it'll have contact info on it. And you can give them that contact info and then we can follow up from there. You can also go on our website and even do an application with them sitting with you. We have applications on our website and you could sit with them and just go through the application. And then as soon as that is in our system, somebody will reach out to them and we can get that all started. You can call us too. I know that I've had families that know me or like providers that know me and just call me directly, and then I can help them jump through the hoops.
Thank you.
And we are really being very intentional about that being a much quicker process. In years past, we did have a little bit of a waiting list for families, but we currently don't have a waiting list for families that are income eligible. And typically we can get people involved in the program pretty quickly. And we love it when people refer pregnant participants because that means we get to help them all the way throughout their pregnancy and then for 3 years with their kiddo. And so a lot of stuff can happen in that, what could be almost a 4-year period. It can be pretty impactful. I heard a thing that said you should never ask, do you have any questions? You should say, what questions do you have? Just assuming that you do have questions. So
I'll just tag on there a little bit. I would just encourage you all, if you are noticing any families with young children that may just need a little bit extra support or need someone in their corner. We're very much cheerleaders for families, and we take the position of going in and partnering with families. So we don't go in assuming that we're the expert. We know that our parents are the expert of their own children, and we really like to foster their strengths and their skills and then work with them specifically on family goals that they come up with, and that's interesting to them. And so that's a little bit different than some of the other providers in the area where we're very much family focused rather than just child focused. We really partner with the parents or other caregivers in the home to collectively look at what all of their needs are and to help assist them accomplishing their own goals. And so if you do have any families that you think would benefit, please feel free to reach out to our office, or if you have other questions, feel free to reach out to our office. And we can also partner with other programs that are similar to us. So if they're involved with like Parents as Teachers, we can work with Parents as Teachers and we can use both services. It won't count as like a duplicate of services.
Oh, hey ladies, Carrie here. I had a question for you, or maybe just sort of a thought exercise. So as you know, because I was invited to join your community feedback session, our work is primarily, or maybe our strength is working with childcare providers. And so I'm curious how you think we might be able to make sure that that message, this great presentation that we had the opportunity of 20 minutes to learn from, and how broad it is and how it helps families, how we might be effective in ensuring that our community of childcare providers have that messaging as well. Whether it's, you know, I know that we talked about this, like having lots of printed material in places like libraries, but then also if there's an opportunity, I don't know if you guys do trainings through like Idaho Stars or anything where you're able to give like the quick and dirty tips to a childcare provider who might then, as that trusted point of reference, be able to refer a family.
That's a great idea.
And if there's a way that we can help facilitate that.
I'm gonna send you an email, Carrie.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great idea. It's hard sometimes to get into individual childcares, but if Idaho Stars would be willing to allow us a 20 minutes to kind of share also, so that a lot of people got it at the same time.
Yeah. And I think too, something that came up in our conversation a couple of weeks ago was just that hesitancy maybe to refer, because in the past we've been so used to having wait lists, but that's not the case right now. And so I think that might be something that has deterred providers from referring, that and maybe just not knowing what they don't know. So I think that often it's the case that people have access to early Head Start resources, but not childcare. But it's definitely possible for the opposite to be true. So yeah, send me an email. Let me know how we can help connect those dots.
That would be great. Yeah. And we are just really trying, we're putting some really intentional focused effort into getting our faces back out there. COVID really kind of hampered everyone, I think, because we were all in our little silos, and we're really wanting to create community with all of the partners that are working with the same sort of demographics that we are, and making sure that people know that we are a really valuable resource to families. And we just come from such a strength perspective with our families. And you probably all know that when you come from that position to people, it empowers them in ways that maybe would not have happened had you not had that kind of support. So, and thank you for putting our website on the chat. Thank you.
So I have a question. You said that a lot of your visits are based on family information instead of just the child. What kind of issues or concerns or patterns have you seen in recent years that families are facing that some of the people on this call could possibly help with, or at least help us understand what you're seeing as greatest needs for young families specifically?
So do you care if I talk for just a second, Michaela? Okay. So having worked in, like, as a home visitor working in family homes, I know that housing would be probably the most major issue. We lost some families that just simply could not afford to live in northern Idaho, or wound up having to be houseless, or like I had one family buy a 15-foot camp trailer to move their 3 dogs, 2 cats, and 3 kids into. And it's parked on someone's property with no power, plumbing, and so that is happening for our families. So that would be one. Access to quality childcare is another that's really challenging for families, because like up here, we had some childcares close, and then some of the ones that previously took ICCP discontinued taking ICCP. So families have a really hard time affording full price childcare, in addition to exorbitant amounts of rent, and always food security, always.
And I'll add on to that, with the pandemic, there was a lot of socialization opportunities that were lost and haven't been picked back up again. And so we've had a lot of families that are really wanting their kids to have these socialized opportunities, particularly if they can't get their child into some form of childcare. And so it has been really exciting to have our in-person play groups back up and running. We have them going in Bonner County right now. We do them in Rathdrum, and then we also have a couple in Coeur d'Alene, and we will open them up in Shoshone County if we have families that are interested in them. Just right now, we don't have any families that are interested in them, but it's definitely a possibility out there as well. And so that's just something that I've heard from families with the pandemic.
And one other need that that I've noticed a lot of, and with our families and then with other families in the community, is the need for parenting classes. And so I know iCare is offering their nurturing classes in Circle of Security, and then we offer ours. For a while there, I was getting, because I facilitate a lot of our group classes, and I was getting calls from as far away as like Moscow and Pullman and different communities that desperately needed some kind of parenting class for families that were interacting with Department of Health and Welfare. So those families, especially that were in that situation. So.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? or should I say, what other questions are
What
there?
other questions do you have? I would like that really does change how you would respond, at least for me.
I just want to say thanks for all the work that you guys do. Early childhood education, as everyone on the call speaking to the choir knows how important it is. And I feel like, and I'm new in the 2030 role, but I feel as if when you guys post something on Facebook or Instagram, if there's a way to tag CDA 2030 and then we can then share it or something to that effect, so that we're just having more eyeballs see all of the good stuff that you guys are doing, and vice versa for the rest of everyone on the call. But I feel like if we can just group together by sharing and tagging, maybe we can be a greater force as far as getting the word out. Because I know that there are families that need your services, and I want to make sure that especially people that are moving new to the area know how to find you or all of those things. Because I think a lot of times it's just lack of knowledge, not lack of wanted, but knowledge.
Right. A lot of the people that see our Facebook page would be people that are already enrolled in our program.
Yeah.
And the people that we really want to see it are the ones that have no idea that we even exist or what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to invite them in. So that's a really great idea.
Yeah, thank you. I'll definitely share that with our social media team and see how we can work together to spread everything, because I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, 'cause I think there's something to be said for the greater good of all, and making sure that everyone who sees all of the individual websites can see the rest of us all doing what we need to do to move our community forward. So that's my 2 cents. Thanks.
Thanks, Greta.
What other questions are there? Leslie, you went off mute for a second. Did you have a question?
No.
All right.
It's great to hear all the work you're doing, though.
We're pretty passionate about what we're doing. It's just, I'll share a really quick success story with you, and then I'll be done. But this one just gets me right in the feelers. So I was a home visitor with a family, and they had 3 kiddos, and mom really struggled with some mental health issues. And a lot of times just had a really flat affect and was depressed. And so we went through a lot of I got her a bunch of counseling and really worked on empowering and inspiring her. And she started talking about wanting to get her GED. And so I introduced her to the folks at North Idaho College, and we just kept talking about it. And then she asked me one day, she said, so I'm thinking about getting my GED so that I can go to college. And she gave me 2 options, 2 things she was thinking about doing. And one of them was early childhood. And she said, do you have early childhood? And I said, I do. That's part of, the degree that I have. And I'm like, it's a great degree. And I said, so she's like, well, what would you advise? And I told her, picture yourself doing both of the things, and whichever of the thing makes your tail wag, choose that one. That's the one, right? So she's like, okay, and she's all excited about it. And then her little guy was getting ready to exit. And so we transitioned her to Head Start. Well, 3 days ago, I went to Head Start, and there she is. And her affect is completely changed. She's gotten her GED. She's enrolled in an early childhood program at North Idaho College. And her life is changing. And so even though we planted the seed and we were watching it sprout, and then we transitioned her to a community partner who is as invested in young children as we are, and they got to help that flourish. She's working for North Idaho College now in an early childhood classroom. It is the very best news. And that is what we do for families, right? That's what we're here for, is to plant these little seeds and help them recognize that they can have and be more than they thought that they could, and that their children, anyway, so that's my story.
That's a great story. I think we could take that YouTube clip of just that story and share it out on social media. I think that would be a good one to acknowledge the work that you guys do and the importance of early learning and how it impacts parents and families and careers, as well as the child itself, for the quality of education. I do have one more of an ask for Michaela and Jennifer. As far as resources, whether it's supplies or volunteers. What do you need from the community that would help you?
Referrals.
Okay.
Lots of referrals. Yeah.
We definitely need referrals. The other thing that has been a very big challenge for us is we have been seeking a space in Shoshone County to have office space, preferably a playgroup space. And that has been a very significant challenge just with the cost of commercial real estate and leasing. And then it has to meet our, we have pretty strict safety guidelines for buildings that we are in. And so if by chance anybody does know anybody in Shoshone County that would have a space that is maybe willing to have a good price for it or do some donation for that would be something that we've been seeking for a while, because it is definitely an underserved area that really responds well to having space in their community. So that's been another challenge for us.
Something to look into, can't speak for any other organization, but to connect with Bob Baker at Luther Haven, because they've got that Shoshone summer camp program going on. And I think the last I heard, they were working on some other community type spaces, but do you need his email?
If you have it, that would be lovely.
Yeah, I'll send it your way.
Thank you.
Perfect.
And then Michaela, you might want to reach out to some of the bigger development partners in the community, like Widmeyer or Parkwood Properties, and see if they have something that would fit for some sort of in-kind donation to your organization. So just saying.
Okay, Widmeyer or Parkwood?
Parkwood Properties. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
And I would reach out to Heritage Health as well. Maybe contact Pam Hauser. They're growing. They have clinics in Shoshone County right now, and they also have a mobile clinic. Like they have a bus and stuff down there. So, and I think they're in like 2 or 3 different towns right now. So that's one of Heritage Health's growth areas. So they have a lot of connections.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. All right.
Thank you guys for letting us come and share. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all your questions and all of your input, because I just love working with everybody to help support our whole community.
Awesome. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Jennifer and Michaela, for sharing with us. So now I think we will move on to updates and what's happening. I know Wendy and Donna always have things going on that they're willing to share. I also, David, not to put you on the spot, but if you want to share about the community conversations that you have coming up, I think those sound really interesting as well.
Yeah, I'd love to. Now the time?
Sure.
Sure. So we, you may have seen in the CDA press, we have a series coming up that's in partnership with the Human Rights Education Institute and the Museum of North Idaho. We're going to have at least one session at North Idaho College, we hope. But the sessions are documentary and discussion sessions leaning into some issues of culture and history here in the Inland Northwest that kind of shape life as we know it, and that folks who are new to the area, as well as folks who have been here for a long time, may not really recognize or have had a chance to digest and think about together. And so that's one purpose, is to talk about some of these kind of issues. And the second purpose is to practice civil discourse or civil conversation with one another. So there can be a wide variety of opinions on these various things, and I'm going to put up a flyer to show you what we're going to be hitting as topics. But we'll have table facilitators for conversations, and there are some definite ways we're going to be encouraging people to have conversations with each other, so that it's not just becoming heated for its own sake, right? So so let me pop this up for you now. Where did it go? There it is. So this is the flyer, Finding Our Place in the Inland Northwest. Tonight is the first one, and it's the topic is when country becomes city. So that's something that's pretty much on everyone's mind, and with some equal anxieties or concerns, because it has an impact on all sorts of things, from land to housing costs, and resources for households and families, and so and work. And so that's what we'll be discussing tonight. And then the next one is owners and laborers, or owners and workers, and that will be looking at the history of, there's some history here with mining that had some impact maybe on the culture here in terms of how relationships between owners and workers might be viewed or not be viewed, but we'll be looking at some history and then some current situations. Would love to have some people who can speak to any of these pieces. Paycheck to Paycheck, of course, is the working poor. It's basically like Alice kind of households. And then displaced in one's own homeland, that's, of course, the experience of indigenous people here in the region, or Native American people. And then being not white in North Idaho, we're just a chance to look at the demographics here and what the impact is on people who aren't part of the 95% to 98% of the population here of being white. And then Who is My Neighbor looks at some of the challenges of heated discourse and confrontational politics that have arisen in our region, and what we can do to begin to have discourse in a different sort of way. So that's the rationale. I would love to send you all the flyer, or I don't know if I can post it here and you can retrieve it.
If you have a link to it, that should work. You could put that in the chat. Otherwise, we can send it out afterwards, so it goes to everybody.
Okay, maybe is it okay if I send it to you, Mark, and you can see 2 ways, a hot link here to register to come, and we just want registration so we have a sense of how many, or use the QR code.
I just used the QR code with my phone and I got the link.
Super.
So off of the Zoom.
Super. And so these are the second page describes some of the topic discussions. So we're really excited about this. This was a Project Neighborly grant that has supported us doing this again and doing it in a more public way. So so that's that. And one of the things we would love some input from you all is, we're looking, besides the documentaries, we'd love to hear from some experts or stakeholders who are working with that particular area or issue that evening, that's part of that evening, to lead off our table discussions just by offering some further insights about where we're at and what we're doing locally. So for instance, when it's laborers and workers, we would love to have someone from CD Aid come and speak to that, and for the Alice Network to be well represented at the Paycheck to Paycheck. The meetings will be located alternating mostly between St. Luke's Episcopal Church on 5th and Wallace and HREI, the Human Rights Education Institute, down by City Park. And there will be one session, we hope, at North Idaho College as well. So those are the 3 locations that are listed, and the flyer has that information on it. So
great.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's looks like a fantastic series. Thank you so much for doing your work on that.
Thanks. And if you can encourage people to come in your staff or networks, just distribute it. That would be great, because we want this to be as wide an audience as possible. Just, we need more places to have these kind of conversations.
Definitely. Great. All right, who's next?
I'll go. Okay, just a few things today. Span Walk, Saturday. Riverstone, be there. 8:30, the governor will be there. He's going to do a proclamation for September being Suicide Prevention Month in all of Idaho. The Recovery Center then on the afternoon is having their recovery rally at HREI, and that's going from about 3 until probably, I don't know, 6 or so. And then Support will be back. I'll send you the link to the save the date. November 17th, we're looking for chefs, soup chefs, not sous chefs. So if you want to represent your organization and make 5 gallons of soup and bring it in a crock pot, we'll be at the mall on November 17th. Just send me an email. It's a good place to get into a friendly competition with some of the other nonprofits and some of the businesses in the area. I know that Mike Baker buys $250 worth of wooden tokens so that he can load his soup in the voting piece of it. So it's kind of a fun event, and we haven't been able to do it for 3 years because of COVID. So we're excited to be bringing that back this year. And then Becca has a couple things.
Homeless, sorry, my brain's all over the place these days. Access Point. So if you guys know anyone who's needing help with rent or who's at risk of homelessness or literally homeless, have them come in, do a screening and assessment. We do have funds right now still for rent, past due deposits, things like that. I don't know if you guys are seeing this or if you have any resources. Our program offers assistance with utility, but per our grant, they have to have a lease that states if their power gets shut off, they could potentially be evicted. And a lot of leases don't state that. So people are kind of falling through the cracks as far as that service. But yesterday alone, I had 14 inquiries for utility assistance. So if you guys know of a resource or someone who can assist, I'd love that. We're given the basic faith-based organizations, CDA, Love Inc., things like that, the normal ones. But if you guys know of anyone, we're talking people with bills that are up over $500 though. They've been let go for 3-4 months. So other than that, I don't really have.
Homeless Coalition by Jennifer.
Homeless Coalition, Region 1 Homeless Coalition. I'm getting ready to send out a bunch of flyers. So if you guys are not on that mailing list and you'd like to participate, it's the last Friday of every month. If you just shoot me an email with your email, I can get you added on there today. Jennifer, if you'd like to do that. Michaela, I think you sent me an email. I'm not sure if you're on there. I think you might have sent me an email. And it's just been really crazy around here. So forgive my delayed response.
I am on there.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, anybody else who wants to be a part of that, please just let me know and we'll get you added. That's it.
Great, thank you. Who is next?
I'll go next. So it's September, our classes are launching, and so we have a whole host of them. Multiple parenting classes. One in particular is Smart Step Parenting. We have several mental health focused classes, mental health response basics, understanding depression, QPR suicide prevention, TBRI for parents and caregivers. We have our grief share class starting up, financial peace, and then beginning sign language, as well as a host of others. And we can definitely be a resource for people with utilities. We don't have that clause with the lease, so we would be happy to have them come our way.
Great. Who else?
I'll
I
go.
can go.
Go ahead, Caitlin, I'll go after you.
Thanks. Well, next Tuesday, we have our poverty simulation coming up. We're really excited about that. We're a full house, so that will be fun. And it should be a great experience. If you are still interested in helping out, we are still looking for a few extra volunteers to be vendors, not real vendors, but the simulated vendors. So if you're interested, please shoot me an email. I'll stick that in the chat. Thank you.
So here at Family Promise, the shelter is full. I am trying to find resources for help covering costs for people who have pets so that they can get their pets boarded while in our program. And I used to have one, but they're no longer there. They used to give us the first month free and then we would cover the rest, but we've lost that. So now I'm looking for a new one. Also, our homeless prevention rental assistance is currently out of funding. So I'm not exactly sure when we'll have that back, but just wanted to let everybody know that we do not have funds right now. That's it.
Okay.
I'll jump in with an update.
Great.
So at CD8, we have our Chef Challenge, our second annual Chef Challenge coming up on October 13th. Tickets are on sale for that right now. So if you are interested in going, you can get tickets from our website, or if you help spread the word. This is our second biggest fundraiser of the year and one that brings in a lot of money to help out the hospitality folk in our area. So we'd appreciate any marketing, advertising help we can get. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Jason. Who else has something?
Well, I wondered, Jason, do you have a website that we could, is there like a flyer for that so that we could advertise it on our Facebook?
So there is a flyer and
it on-
putting our website. So our website is cda.org.
Okay.
And if anybody wants a flyer, I can maybe Mark, I can send that to you, and if you want to distribute to everybody in case they want it.
Sure.
I'm just thinking of a way that we could like promote it for you.
Yeah, that would be great. We've got some social media assets. So up in our Facebook profile, there's some social media assets, and you can just hop on there and share that, or I'll send a digital copy of the flyer out too. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Who else would like to share?
I can go ahead and share. This is Latanya with NIC Head Start. We are currently going through, trying to go through with our wait list and going through the enrollment process to start up the beginning of the school year. So, we take those referrals for the threes and fours, but we're also looking for staff too. We're kind of short-staffed in a few of our different areas for teachers. So if you guys have know of anybody that would be interested in that kind of early childhood area, definitely send them our way.
And Latanya, where would we get, would we just do it like if we were to promote that on our Facebook? Would we have a link that we would use that they could just have access to the NIC's employment page?
Yeah, it is. It's the
Okay.
nic.edu, and it's just down on the bottom with the employment. It's listed with the rest of the NIC listings. Yeah.
And that, I think you're looking in Coeur d'Alene.
We've got openings at several different locations. I think most of our teacher openings are in the Coeur d'Alene area, but we do have a few other openings that are posted as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go, Mark.
Perfect. Go for it, Vicki.
The beginning of August, we had a new latest catalog come out. A lot of you probably received them in your mailboxes, but we started marking the courses or programs that are eligible for Idaho Launch just right to the program in the catalog. For those who don't know, that covers the Idaho Launch program covers 90% of the cost of our programs that are approved for that funding. So make sure you look for those. And if you need a supply of those in your business for the clients that you're working with, just let me know and I'll make sure we get some dropped off to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Vicki.
One other, the Fig Tree comes out every year with the community resource thing, big pamphlet for the whole region. Any of you make use of that? And if so, how? I would love some input. I'm on the board for the Fig Tree. So that's they try to do all community resources as a kind of almost like a yellow pages, but organized by topic. Any of you use it, just out of curiosity? No.
I have used resources before, but I didn't know Fig Tree existed, so I would like to see it. And I can, you know, Dave, we can probably shoot emails back and forth, and I can meet with you. Once I look at it, I can tell you if I will use it or not, because I try to refer people out to community resources as much as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely love some more information on that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we have them at the Help Center, and we distribute them at the Help Center. And I know the Fig Tree was active in our housing resource fair that we did. In the past, when we had, you know, when I had looked into it, and it's been a few years, it was mostly Spokane resources. So that may have changed. And if there's more local stuff now, I'd be, you know, I'm always open to any kind of resources that are available, but I just want to make sure, you know, they're local as well as the Spokane area.
Great, thanks. I'll share it one of the next times. I think it's also online, but I'll try to get some copies out to some of you all. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Great. All right, we have just hit the 10 o'clock hour. So unless there's any last minute quick shares, we will wrap it up.
Just a reminder of our scholarship program. Every time I go off mute, the toddler in the background turns on an electronic toy. So our scholarship program is going still. We have until the 15th. And so just want to remind everybody, we've been talking about this for your clients or individuals that come to you for programs and services. But if you have staff or yourself that also would benefit from assistance paying for childcare or before and after school age care, we recently increased our income guidelines as well as the annual limit. And so want to make sure that our teams are supported as well as those individuals that come to us for services.
Yeah, and households earning up to 100% of AMI are eligible.
Carrie, would you, so this, when is this over? Like, is there a deadline?
So for the increased or the temporarily lifted annual amount is up until the 15th. And then we'll move into phase 2 after September 30th of our new grant year, which will kind of go back to that $2,500 per year. But the deadline for this month is the 15th.
I was just thinking of if there was a way that we could have you speak to our home visitors so that they knew about it, but Michaela and I could share out with them.
That'd be great. And once we start the next phase, you know, we could certainly do that and explain the situation then, because we'll definitely continue these scholarships. Great. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and enjoy fall season. Have a good one.